Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome back to the farm. We just came back from camping and we're moving sheep this afternoon. So the pasture out behind the barn is kind of, well, it's, tapped out a little bit. But we've got some peripheral stuff here on the north side of the shop, in and around the sea can, around the burning barrels. There's a little garden patch that we had there once upon a time. It's kind of all overgrown. So we're going to move the sheep into there, put some electric netting around it. And I just wanted to grab this old Stockman electric fence controller and get a set of leads on it and see if it even works. So most of the places around the farm here, we've got to rig up a solar energizer because we have power in the yard site, but it's limited to the shop here and the house. So you get you don't have to get too many extension cords out there before it's not practical to run, one of these plug-in direct energizers. This ground cable for it's got no clamp on the end, so I'm just gonna steal one off of this solar energizer up here. So one of our neighbors to the north of us actually called over the other day and asked if we would mind if his cows grazed in the ditch on the west side of the farm. He's got the west side of the road, we got the east side of the road. So, well, I don't really care as long as they don't go out on the road itself and cause an accident. But then they got us thinking, because we've got this mesh electric netting and it's fantastic, and that's what we're going to keep them in this section with so they can clean that up. But I'm going to get Carmen to stop by PV Mart maybe tomorrow and see if they've got a couple more lengths. And we could have them great. We got a real big wide county ditch and all kinds of that, poplar and willow and scrubby little shrubbery bushes all along the ditch there that they would just love to clean up the leaves. So, hey, waste not, want not, right? Especially in a year like this where you're not really getting a lot of rain and pastures don't sustain themselves. And if you can't tell, I'm getting tangled up in this wire here because I got my tight pants on. There we go, I'm over. So, alternative food sources is a pretty big thing this year, last year definitely was as well. And coming into the winter that we're about to have, for sure, it's going to have an impact there as well. All right, we're rigged up there. I just got to get an extension cord over there. So that old fence controller, that came in the back of the stock trailer when we got that. It was that was an estate style deal. And that stock trailer come full of treasure. Mostly junk, but a couple of treasures. And I immediately saw that and I was like, I don't know, this might not work. Could be a piece of crap, but and it sat in the back of the shop since then. So we're gonna plug it in here and see what it does. And of course, it doesn't have an on-off switch or anything like that. It's just plug it in and make sure it's hooked up. But you can hear it there. Making all the right noises, so it's tough because you're like, do I really want to? I don't have a fence tester, so I am the fence tester, or maybe one of the sheep is the fence tester kind of thing. I'm always kind of hopeful that somebody's gonna stick a nose against it and be like, oh yeah, no, the fence is working, because if not, it's up to me. So you can see this overgrown patch right here. That's where we had a bit of a no-till garden going there. It was just kind of an experiment. I called it the Mouse Miracle Garden because we had a shed there that was full of mice. I skidded the shed out and I thought, what are we going to do with this space? So put some cardboard down. We put some manure and compost and all kinds of stuff down there and had pumpkins growing there, and it was fantastic. But the growth in that area of the grass and the rest of the weeds was very prolific. So we kind of abandoned it because, it was away from the house. It was away from where, the rest of our other inputs were. So it wasn't really worthwhile. But you can see just like the difference, right? Like lots of grass there. So the sheep can clean that up. And then there's a wooden border in and around there. I'll clean that all up. And then we can maybe get in there with the mower and start to level that back down. But these sheep can graze in here for a day or two, I think. And then if PV Mart does have some more of this netting, we'll see if we can ferry them out into the ditch during the daytime and maybe bring them back into here during the evening. We'll see. But for now, I gotta get some water rigged up. So I don't have water here. I got water on the other side of the shop and behind the barn. So I'll disconnect that and I'll plumb it over here and stretch a piece of garden hose. It's pretty easy to get farm envy when you see some of these folks' yard sites. They just got water and power rigged up absolutely everywhere, but we certainly don't. We've only got one actual plumbed in water. It's over the back of the lambing pen. It backs onto where the pasture is for the cows. Everything else, we run these just little garden hose floats, and they're $20. You can get them from UFA, PV Mart, anywhere like that. And I mean, it's thousands of dollars to ditch a water line in. So you can do a lot with one of those as long as you got enough garden hose. You get over 3, 4, 5 lengths of garden hose, you start thinking, well, yeah, I probably should rig in something more permanent there. But especially for what we're doing, we're moving them around the yard all the time, and they kind of here and there and everywhere in the summertime, especially. Right? What does it hurt? What does it hurt to have one of these setups? And it's fantastic. Absolutely, it's fantastic. So I just dumped the water out of this big tub, and oh no, I got water in my shoe and down my pant leg. Man, oh man. Anyways, I was talking about this the other day about look at all the algae that grows in there, and what are some of the solutions for that? And I've heard some folks put goldfish in. I've heard some folks put some copper wire in. I've heard a couple teaspoons of bleach. No, I'm not too sure about that couple teaspoons of bleach. I'm really not too sure about the goldfish either. I know in the big dugouts you put I think it's copper sulfate is what it is. It's bluestone. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the I got the pressure washer here. We get the pressure washer fired up. Wash that all out. Take it over. I got some copper wire left over from when we built the shop, and I had to run to the ground pin. Maybe coil some up and chuck it in the bottom. See if it makes a difference. We get a lot of sun, a lot of heat. Therefore, any kind of bacteria, vegetative or organic material that comes in off the lips of the horses, the sheep, anything like that, they turn around and poop in there. That's all feed for the algae, right? So we want to, you got to dump it out every week or something like that, but the algae's still there. You still got to clean it out. So it'd be really good if we could control that. There, we'll get it all filled up. It's automatic, no inputs other than, of course, just initial setup. Pretty awesome. All right, I got, what would you say that? Somewhere about 20 inches, about a pound copper wire. And there's no scientific method to this. I don't know if you're supposed to coil it up or set it into little triangles or melt it down into pucks. Or we're just gonna go ahead, throw her in there, see if the anecdote works, because that's all we're working off of is, old wives' tales. This was now getting on in the evening, and we got all the kids to bed, and I just got to run over, get the air compressor fired up, and put air in the tractor tire, because just before supper, we ran over to my brother-in-law's house and picked up a couple of things there. Well, so my wife was pretty click happy the last Ritchie Brothers sale, and she bought this 20-foot by 30-foot high tunnel greenhouse, and then I got a mini bulk bag full of wood shavings from that was, I don't know, there was a bit of a mix-up, I think, at Achievement Day at the 4-H. So they got some wood shavings, but they were apparently the wrong type of wood shavings for cows because they get stuck in their hair or whatever. Not good for showmanship. They work fantastic for chickens, so their losses are gains. So a mini bulk, that's going to last. That's like a year's worth of wood shavings in that tote there. So that's fantastic. But yeah, I got to get air in the tire on the tractor and then figure out how I'm going to get that off the trailer, because the brother-in-law's got an actual set of forklift forks on the front of his tractor with a skid steer quick attach. We have a set of forks that go on the bucket, but the bucket stays on, so it's just as wide, and you can see where the wheel well is on in the front lip of that trailer there. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to belly wrap that skid and then hook it to the chain hooks on the top of that tractor bucket and get it off without dropping it, because then I would be real popular. So I got one length of chain on the tractor. I'm going to have a another one in the shop for sure. So I think, yeah, what I'll do is I'll just come right underneath the skid there and just wrap it right around the bucket. That'll work for sure. For sure that'll work. And then I'll just go set it off over by the stock trailer. You know what? Yeah, that'll work better. I'll set it over there. If I put it where it's supposed to be, it's going to be in the way for when we actually move the current greenhouse we have. And so I got to skid that out of the way because this new one's going to go kind of right in the same footprint as the old one. Of course, this is like twice the size. All right, I got air in the tire. I got my chains all rigged up back there. Now I just hope this tractor starts. Oh, you know what? I should probably turn the fuel on. If I want to succeed, I should probably turn the fuel on. Try with a little bit of choke. There we go. Well, the greenhouse is unloaded, the sawdust is unloaded. I put the tractor in the barn for the night. The only thing left to do here is round up a chicken. There's one of these chickens that's floating around. There it is, right there, in between the chicken tractors. Gotta round that little bugger up, get him back safe and sound in his house, or I can't be held responsible for what happens overnight. Things, you know, dogs, coyotes, foxes, all kinds of varmints. So we're gonna go around and around, probably a couple times. See if we can't get it back in. You know what? I've got a spare feeder. We're gonna put in the gap. It won't create a perfect corner. It'll create a little entrapment. I won't have to go around so many times. Come on, Chicky Poo. Oh yeah, you just hopped right over that, didn't you? Maybe we'll lay it sideways. Maybe if we do that, be a little harder. Maybe we'll go counterclockwise this time. Oh no, will we not? Oh. I got you. You're okay. You're okay. Let's get you tucked back into bed. There you go. Night night. I think that's a pretty good time for me to call her a night too. Fetch up a cup of tea. I don't think we got any cookies left, but I find a little treat or something in the camper. There'll be a couple leftover snacks from the weekend. So I'll let you go for now. Hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.